Welcome. This is the ELEET Review Podcast. We got a very special episode today. We will be reviewing the Deathly Hallows Part 2. We've been waiting to do this review for many months now. We're finally getting to it. Yeah. We're going to finish up our Harry Potter series here. We do have a special guest here. He is Talha. You want to go ahead and let everybody know where to check you out? I believe you're on Instagram.
Yo guys, my name is Talha. I'm on Instagram, the KTA, the film critic. Pop a follow.
Awesome. Yeah, he's got a great page with great reviews, so make sure you definitely check it out. And before we get started, just make sure you check out our other videos. We got the whole Harry Potter series pretty much almost done here, so make sure you check those out too. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and review this like we do all our other movies on here. We got our different categories that we'll be categorizing here and reviewing. So we'll kind of just each take turns. Since you're our guest, Talha, you'll start us off here, but we're gonna start with the plot. And maybe just give us your score and tell us kind of what you think about it and what you rated it there for the plot.
All right, for the plot, I'm going to give it a solid 9. And I think for the plot-wise, it's one of the better parts of Harry Potter overall. Like, I just love the whole movie in general. The idea they're trying to find this Horcrux, they got that mystery aspect to it, but also the action to it, and it's constant, and they also referred back to the other movies. So the plot-wise, it didn't lose what it was inside to. And that's what I completely loved about this movie.
Yeah, it's a freaking good plot. Aiden, what did you give it?
I give it a 9. I think that this was just like a really great way to like wrap up the entire Harry Potter franchise. And it's a great like part 2 to the last movie also. I love all the stuff like Harry Potter dying and then like talking to Dumbledore and having to go back and and then him and Voldemort have this huge epic fight. One thing I wish that Malfoy had like a little bit of more of a redemption arc. That kind of bothered me. And then another small thing, I thought that it was kind of dumb how Ron was able to just like open the Chamber of Secrets thing.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
it was a little convenient.
But
I did also think the same.
But yeah, I like the plot for the most part. I think it's a really solid plot, and I like that whole end with him like breaking the Elder's Wand and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Nice. Okay, well for me, I gave it a 9 as well for the plot. It's a great plot. It's not like it's telling a huge story or anything because it's pretty much just meant to wrap up everything, but it does it really well, and I'm glad that it's a good conclusion. I agree. There's like little conveniences in there and everything.
Yeah.
And I still think there are stronger Harry Potter plots in this one. But it's not really trying, like I said, it's not trying to be a plot much. It's just trying to be an epic finale, really, which it does really well. Pretty solid plot. Really satisfying as well. And it's definitely not slow. It's always fast and tons of action throughout the whole thing there. So
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead. It's pretty stellar.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it's the most action-packed one of the movies as well.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, it's like 80% action probably, the whole movie. So
one big battle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the dialogue. What's your thoughts there, Talha?
Here's where I'm going to go a bit negative. I think it was a bit inconsistent. Like there's some parts where I thought it was a bit like corny and cringe. And then some parts where I'm like, yo, it's actually it's hit me pretty good. And like off the top of my head for the dialogue where I could think like where it was cringy. Oh, god damn, I had this prepared. Where it wasn't cringy, at least, is the always part. That one where Snape says always. And that just hits every fan. I think not even just Harry Potter fans, just everyone who likes this film, or even if they don't, they just keep reminiscing back to that one particular line.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It is a good line.
And if I were to give it a score, I'd give it an 8.
Nice.
For that inconsistency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Aiden, what's yours?
I don't know. I went with a 9. I could maybe lower it a little bit because it's not like the most dialogue-filled movie. A lot of it is just a lot of action.
Yeah.
But I think that they did have some like really great dialogue moments, like when Harry Potter's talking to Dumbledore. I loved a lot of that stuff. And then that line you were just talking about too. Or I like some of the stuff with like Ron, Hermione, and Harry just at the end, and they're all just like talking to each other. And I also love the moments like before then when they're about to go into the battle and they're like, you got to do this. I don't know. I just think it has a lot of cool things plot wise. And I also like a lot of the stuff with Voldemort and Harry. But again, it's like, I think it's mostly just like action and stuff. So I don't think I don't know. Yeah, but I won the 9.
Nice. Well, yeah, I gave it a 9 for the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was really good. There's a lot of good lines, a lot of good memorable things from it, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's many Harry Potter movies that have tons of amazing dialogue. I mean, it's all just pretty fun stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to have a really stellar script really, but yeah, I really liked it. I thought there was a lot of good lines, especially from Voldemort and Harry. A lot of their interactions, I think, have a lot of good lines there that work, that are just kind of like meant to, get Harry to fight him and, kind of tease him and everything. And
yeah,
Harry as well with him. Then the dialogue when he's meeting with his parents and his family and stuff. I love everything they say there. And just like you said, the Dumbledore part 2 where they're talking, that's some great dialogue there. And even just the way Voldemort commands his army and, commands the Death Eaters and everything when they're talking and stuff, it's all really good. And his interaction with Snape before he kills him and everything, pretty scary stuff. So I like that. And I also really like all the stuff they do when he kind of gets in everyone's heads and his voice is like super loud and makes everybody like,
oh, I love that.
Yeah, there's something about Ralph Fiennes as that character. Is like, I was rewatching it yesterday and I forgot that he was playing Voldemort, and that's why I completely love that character.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He kills it. And I just love how echoey that is and how dark that is when he talks like that. And like I said, just lots of memorable lines too, between Harry and Voldemort and everything. So pretty stellar dialogue. But yeah, you're right. It's a ton of action. I don't think any of the movies really try to go for very amazing scripts. So just fun stuff. So let's go on now to the visuals of the movie. What would you give that, Talha?
I'm giving it a 10. Like, you can't see my screen, but I have so many notes on the visual. And like the opening shot before the sequence, like with the Dementors and like Hogwarts as a whole. That's one of the most stunning shots in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And then you go with the Quidditch field burning, and when they have that protection field over Hogwarts, and when that gets destroyed. And like, it's just such a good, visually stunning movie. And of course, when Doc 2 wants to connect in the final battle. So that's why I'm giving it a 10. Because it's visually such a stunning movie.
It is. It's really nice. Cool. Aiden, what did you give it?
Yeah, I went for 9.5 for the visuals because I do think that this movie has a lot of great visuals, especially when like Harry and Voldemort are fighting at the end and they're going everywhere. I thought all that stuff looked like really cool. Mm-hmm. I just love that place. I guess it like where Dumbledore is. I thought that place just looked really nice. It was just like all white everywhere. I thought that was pretty visually stunning. Hogwarts looks great as usual. I don't know. I don't have like tons of stuff to say about the visuals, but I think it was some really good Harry Potter visuals.
The one thing I did notice that at the start and leaning towards the end, it's darker at the start, and as you go towards where they're fighting, there's much more like natural lighting. And
True.
I didn't notice that until yesterday.
That's cool.
And when the battle's over, it's like totally sunshine and everything. Which is pretty cool.
Back to good old Harry Potter.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Well, for me, the visuals, I gave them a 9. I still think they're really good. I more appreciate like the set pieces and things like that in this more than like the actual visuals of spells and stuff like that, because it's kind of like when you have a lot of action, it's hard to tell everything going on. It's all just moving so quickly. So the visuals aren't completely like a 10 for me or anything. Just because I think in other Harry Potter movies, I've enjoyed some other visuals more. But it's still really good visuals. And you're right, like the end when they are fighting and there's the red versus the green splashy spell stuff. I really like that.
Yeah.
I don't like how it visually looks too. Well, I like how Voldemort looks when he kind of just dusts away and stuff. But I don't like exactly how the spell visually looked on him once it hit him. Like it kind of just crept up towards his wand and then he just started fading. I would have liked if he got splashed with it or something, or blasted with it. And instead he kind of
doesn't the book have another ending?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the book had a different ending. Yeah, I forgot what the book was.
Really?
Like in terms of the ending, but it was completely different.
Really? Oh, yeah. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I don't know. Because I definitely don't like how that exactly ends. The wand flying up and stuff, but it's alright. And but then there's other cool visuals, like, you know, when there's the whole fire in the room of requirements, I think, and they have to like fly their way out of there and saving everybody in there, and going back into the Chamber of Secrets. You know, it kind of just takes you through all these things in the Hogwarts and everything, all those visuals you like to see in Hogwarts. And then I agree, like that whole stuff with just the force fields and everything, and they get the big statues coming out and stuff. That's all really, really cool to see. And just seeing all these like powerful wizards, like all the teachers getting together with their wands and everything and stuff. That's pretty dang cool. So, and then seeing all the Death Eaters, so all these people in black just like coming down to start a war. Like, of course, there's a lot of cool visuals there. So. I just think spell-wise and everything like that, there's still some better stuff in the franchise. But
understandable.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get down to the action then. What would you give that, Talha?
I think we're all giving it a 10, or if not, at least a solid 9. Yeah, this is the best action out of any of the movies. And like when you also considering the music that goes behind it, especially during the Battle of Hogwarts, and that's in my playlist as well. That whole song of music that's going on. This is such a great action-wise for a movie, and it's something you can keep watching. You'll have the same feeling for.
Yeah,
especially when it's Voldemort versus Harry. Like there's so much tension, or at least when they're searching for the Horcrux. It's just so good.
This is really cool.
Right, cool. Aiden, what about you?
Yeah, I went with a 9.5 for the action because, I mean, this is a very action-heavy film. You got to have some good action, and they did it really well. Yeah. It really just felt like one big epic final battle, and it was really cool. You felt the stakes. It was like super big. I like the scene where Dumbledore, where he kills Harry. I thought that scene was really cool, and I just love how Harry they bring in Harry's body, and they're like, I killed him, and then he escapes and stuff. I thought that stuff was really cool. It's really cool action stuff right there. Of course, I love the whole final battle with Voldemort and Harry, just fighting each other, going everywhere. I thought that's a lot of fun to watch. And then as much as I feel like in some other Harry Potter movie endings, they had the two just putting the wand at each other and shooting that beam. I was like, but I think in this movie it is really cool. I do like it in this movie. I guess the only thing for the action is Voldemort Snape. Is just they chase Ron and Hermione, then they die to Neville, and that's really about it. Otherwise, for killing Snape, there's nothing really special about it.
Yeah,
that's true. I did I'm blanking on his name. Oh yeah, Neville. I did like him killing. I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
That was a cool little thing.
Pretty Gryffindor of him to do.
But so I give it a 9.5.
Cool. I went for a 10 because I think it's just obviously easily the best action of the franchise because that's all it's meant to be. Especially coming off a movie of Deathly Hallows Part 1 where you have very little action in that movie and then getting it all paid off here. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Because you get all the big stakes of the 6th one happening and everything, and even the 5th. Since Voldemort's shown up, basically, you've been kind of waiting for a big Harry Voldemort match and for all this to pay off and be completed, and we spent kind of the 6th one not focused on that too much until Dumbledore's death, and then 7 Part 1 it's we're just dealing with a very serious character study pretty much of all the characters and these big stakes, but then finally just having a big final battle is pretty cool. And it's definitely a thing that a lot of franchises have started to do, like Hunger Games and Lord of the Rings, everything where you kind of end things off with this huge battle and stuff. Especially at the time this movie came out, it felt like there were so many of these types of movies that were from books that have these big final battles. So I'm glad they went for that formula as well. and split this up into 2 parts so that we could just have a full, battle for the last part. I also like all the attention to details on little action they just show here and there, like, little parts where like Neville, he's fighting those guys on the bridge and they start chasing him and stuff. Like, that's just kind of funny. Or Ron and Hermione having to do their little thing, and you're seeing just teachers fighting different people, and like Ron's mom fighting Bellatrix and stuff. Like, that's a lot of fun. So they make sure to like still pay off everybody's little characters, but also focusing on Harry, just trying to like find that last Horcrux and everything. And then it is cool, like you said, when Voldemort like kills him and stuff. And it is really cool at the end with their battle and everything. I do like Neville doing that part with cutting the snake and everything. I know there is like a little deleted scene where Malfoy like throws a wand to Harry or something like that, which I thought would have been cool to keep in. I'm not sure why I was taken out.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but it was cool. And it's just, it's obviously just great action, good payoff. And a lot of the times in these types of movies, I feel like their final battles and action all tend to go down kind of the same way. But I thought this one, since it was a full movie of action, it just kind of was able to show everything you wanted to see possible. So I really liked that.
What if that, like, you would have wanted to see like Fred Weasley's death or Lupin's death in this, or do you think it's right, like, where they just share that they're dead and you have to like emphasize with all these other characters like mourning over their dead bodies?
I would have been down to see them die.
Honestly, I want to know how they died.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought we did see it. Yeah, but you're right. We didn't see it. Yeah, I would have liked to see that. That would have been cool.
I agree.
Would have been a lot more emotional and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still pretty sad they died. But let's finish off with the characters here. What would you give the characters in this movie, Talha?
I'm giving it a 7. It's only because of the whole Draco Malfoy thing, where he's in it, but like hardly in, because I love that character so much. In terms of, now this is a movie where he can redeem himself, but they didn't have that much development, and that's in particular where I didn't enjoy that aspect, where we are to believe he just left with all the other Malfoy family, which to an extent you can say, now they are redeeming themselves from this villainous Slytherin persona to now this more, Hogwarts model student. But other characters, I think Snape's character in this particular movie was so good, and the whole flashback scene is like, I didn't expect that at all the first time watching it.
It was awesome.
When I watch it now, I'm like, J.K. Rowling, like, take a bow. Like, what? This is such great writing and development, and it's unexpected.
And you were so pissed at him,
Yeah, because for the first movie you hate him, and now in the last movie you wish he never died.
Yeah, right.
And then there are other characters like Aberforth Dumbledore, which is cool to have.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't know what to think of him, because we only knew that him and Dumbledore didn't like each other very much, and that's really about it.
Right.
But that's why I give it a 7. Like, other characters like Ron, Hermione, and Harry, like, they're just themselves, really, just with more ambition to get this done. And then at the end, it's quite nice to see Harry with the sun and how his past has inspired him. But it's quite sad that Daniel Radcliffe doesn't want to do the Cursed Child movie.
Yeah, I know.
Would have been awesome to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I do wonder if in that new Fantastic Beasts movie, if they'll show more of Dumbledore's brother, Albus's brother. I started forgetting his name, but it'd be cool if they showed more of his story in that movie, since it's a lot about Dumbledore. But cool. Aiden, what do you give the characters?
I went with a 9.5. I think that, it's crazy going from like the Sorcerer's Stone, where they're just like little kids and like, I don't know, they're not great actors, of course. And they go into like now where like everyone, like, they've been acting for so long and they're just all like stellar in this movie.
Yeah.
I think everyone's performances are just fantastic. I love, of course, like Voldemort. I think that he's so awesome in this movie, and I love that he just gets his time to shine through like the whole thing. I think that like the main three characters, Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron, I think that they're all great in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the little thing that Ron and Hermione has. How they like went off together and stuff, and then they ended up kissing. I thought all that stuff was great. And then I love seeing Dumbledore again. Thought that was really cool. And yeah, I loved Snape. I thought Snape was great in this, and I agree that was really cool. I like they make you feel like you didn't want him to die after he literally just killed Dumbledore in like the other movie.
Yeah.
So I thought all that stuff was great. I also just have it down a little bit lower just because the Malfoy thing kind of a little bit. Yeah. I feel like I don't know, I could almost give the characters a 10 though. But like if they had just kept that scene where he like throws the wand, that could have like solved this problem for me, I think.
Same for me.
Just like he could have just like helped Harry Potter really quick, and then you know what side he stands on.
Blame the editing team for this score.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. I would have also loved to see him get some more like action, like fighting back. Yeah. But I mean, they didn't do anything with that, so I was a little bit lame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love all the characters for the most part. I think that they do a great job in this movie.
Cool. Well, for me, I gave the characters a 9.5 out of 10. I think they're really, really good here. I still think they're at their best in Deathly Hallows Part 1. I think that, like I said, that's a great way to look at. That's a great study of the three characters. It's the best they've ever been is in that movie. But in this one, we still keep that kind of same tone within them. It's like we go right from the end of that movie right into this one. So it's kind of like you're still keeping up those good things about them. Yeah. Obviously, we just don't have time to sit here and focus on it a bunch, though. And then, I think Snape's probably the next biggest part of it. You know, like I remember like vividly, like how I saw the 6th movie and I was like, I hate this guy so much. I was like, how could he possibly do something like this? I'm like, this guy is evil. I feel like Harry, you know, where you're just like, he's so pissed at him, you know? And then, finally like getting this huge, like, oh, whoa, like Dumbledore asked him to kill him and all this stuff. Like that was just like, you know, blew my mind. I was like, oh shoot. And then like getting into his story with Harry's mom, you know, that whole backstory there, it's like kind of tragic.
It is.
And you can understand why he's got all this like kind of resentment towards Harry and stuff, because he kind of just projects that onto him. But at the same time, you can tell he still, I think, cares a lot. Very, very deep down, he has a little bit of care for Harry and stuff. And he obviously is very loyal to Dumbledore, which is such a cool thing to look into. And I really do love that scene where he says that classic thing, like, you have your mother's eyes, which everyone says. Yeah. And I was like, that was great to hear from him. And how he like takes his tears and stuff so he can look into the memories. That's really cool. And it was great to see Dumbledore back as well. I wasn't expecting to see him come back at all, you know, so it was good to have him there in the finale. And I think Ron and Hermione get exactly what they needed to do in it, where it's like they're not a huge focus, but they also are there, you know, enough to kind of help out with the Horcruxes and everything. And I thought just all the teachers and everything got great scenes as their characters, especially with like Ron's mom and stuff. It was pretty fun. And Voldemort, of course, was a big standout. You know, he feels he's like a big bad villain. You know, he does the good role of being a good villain, of course. And then, I think that just that final epilogue scene, you know, with them all grown up with their kids and stuff, I thought that was a really, really good way to end.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And nice. They looked much older. Like, it was great. Great showing their different age difference there. I was like, wow, good job with the makeup and everything.
Yeah.
One Voldemort line where he's like, the boy who's lived come to die. I like that. Just got me. That's such a great line.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right. Yeah. And even just his moments, you know, when he's talking to everybody's heads and he's just like, Harry, you're getting all these people killed. Like, this is your fault. If you want to stop this, you need to come face me and stuff. That's cool. Mm-hmm. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not the best the characters have been at, but I think it's still, for being a really action-packed movie, it's cool how much you could still really like characters in this, and that it's not just all about action, you know? 9.5 out of 10. So let's go ahead and real quickly total up our scores, what our averages were. What did you end up getting in total, Talha?
Oh, I forgot to calculate all this. Let me quickly calculate. I remember.
Aiden, what did you give it?
I got a 9.3 out of 10. And I'm pretty okay with that score.
I got a 9.3 as well, even though I don't know if
There are 4 categories, right?
There are 5.
5, yeah.
And I think I gave one more. But
let's see.
Oh, yeah.
8.
Whoa.
And let's talk real quickly about just, we're going to pick a one favorite scene from this movie, just one standout.
8.4 out of 10.
8.4? Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to calculate. My bad.
Do you feel good about that score?
I think it's reasonable.
It's reasonable. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Cool. Well, yeah, so let's move on now to just one standout scene. Just pick a personal favorite from the movie here. I know there's a lot of great scenes in this movie, so it's pretty hard for me to pick. But Talha, you can start us off there. What would be your standout scene from this movie?
I mean, everybody's going to pick the flashback scene for Snape, so I'm going to go with the wood scene between Voldemort and Harry. And it's the whole confrontation with the parents and asking them what death is like, to him just finally dying, and Voldemort thinking he's winning. And then how that leads to the whole Dumbledore scene. So that's why I really love that scene. Because you're thinking he's given up, but you don't exactly know the sacrifice until the next coming scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's why I think my favorite scene.
Yeah, it's amazing. Aiden, what's yours?
It's tough. I could almost maybe choose that scene too, because I don't know. I think that's really cool. And it's just so shocking when Harry Potter dies. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't read the book or anything. And then he meets up with Dumbledore, and I just love that scene too. But yeah, also I did really like that flashback scene. That was really cool. So I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to choose one, but I really like those.
Yeah, a lot of standouts. For mine, I had to put that same part where he's talking with his family, his spirits of the family. I thought that was just so, I always get emotional during that part just because it's so awesome to see. Specifically, my favorite part of that scene though is when Harry's just like, stay with me. Like, then they're like, oh yeah, we'll be with you. Like, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Just to see like Sirius there again too. Like, I forgot how much I miss Sirius. You know, I hated seeing his death because it was so sad in the 5th one. It was cool to have him there, as well as the parents, because you haven't seen much of the parents doing anything in these movies. And to see his parents come back and kind of just protect him and all this stuff. I thought that was a great way to handle that scene. And then obviously the Dumbledore part's really cool too. Once he talks to Dumbledore, just like that whole segment of the movie is just like a really some of the best of Harry Potter, I would say. Yeah.
Like, it's also just visually nice because it's just all white. So it's just thinking of you as heaven, but it's not exactly heaven. It's in between this life and death they don't quite understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how vague Dumbledore kind of is about it all. He's just kind of like, I don't know, dude. What do you want to do? Like, he's just like, where do you want to go? Where do you think you should be? Just kind of gives him advice. It is a little weird to see. Isn't there like a little baby Voldemort there or something on the ground?
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
I never liked looking at that.
No,
I didn't either.
It's so gross. But it's funny to see all like the blood and all that in all the white and everything.
So I found out how Voldemort dies in the books, and this is just judging off Google. It says the Elder One, however, refused to harm its true master and flipped over, flying him towards its rightful master. The rebounding, killing curse hit Voldemort, and his lifeless body hit the floor, and the white hands empty, dead. So, what do you think that compared to the movie?
I think I would have preferred that over what they did.
I think so too. Yeah. That's cool.
Same.
It's a little more eventful and dramatic, which I think he deserved a dramatic death because he's an epic character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But cool. And then one last thing we'll talk about. I just want to talk about the Rotten Tomato score, see if we agree. It's at a 96%, so that's pretty dang high.
I didn't know it was that high. Wow.
Yeah, it's really high. I think that might be the highest of them all, I think. I might be wrong on that.
Highest of them all?
Maybe.
I don't remember anything higher than that.
Yeah,
I think the Goblet of Fire should be the best, at least in my view.
Wow. Interesting. I would not agree with that, but that's a cool opinion.
Which one would you think is the best?
Oh, that's tough, man. I always put Prisoner of Azkaban first.
I would put Prisoner of Azkaban probably. I think
that'll be on my second.
But then Deathly Hallows Part 1, I think might go right after that. That's
That one's,
I love Part 1 a lot.
I think it's
I
very
love
underrated.
I love that scene where they're just Hermione's just talking about the story of the Deathly Hallows, just the animation behind it. Always love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's definitely the most serious. Like, it actually feels like a film.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a blockbuster. It's like a film. You know, like all these movies are blockbuster, big family movies. That one's like a cinema film.
That one's,
That's what
and it's like a Harry Potter film too. Like,
Yeah,
digging into
very
the
different.
Awesome.
Very different. So yeah, do you all agree with 96% then, or do you think it should be lower?
I'll go a bit lower, but I understand.
I would
Yeah, I think-
probably go like a little bit. Comparing it to the other Harry Potter movies, because like all of them are like a little bit lower than this one, I could put this one lower too.
Yeah, I'd put this one a little lower. I'd probably go for like a 90 or 92 maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
96 is
I
pretty
agree.
dang high. Yeah, a lot of movies don't quite hit 96 most of the time. So, but it is really good, of course. So
I think American Psycho's on 62% there.
62.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet, so I can't judge that. But I do want to see it.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Do you want to thank you for coming on, Talha? Do you want to tell everybody one more time just where to find you on social?
KTA, the film critic on Instagram. Please like and subscribe them and follow them on Insta as well. They're great people. Great podcast as well. You guys would really enjoy future content.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely make sure you do like and subscribe. And like I said, check out our other Harry Potter videos. We have a playlist for it. We'll pretty soon here, we'll be doing a full ranking of all the movies together. So make sure you guys stay out for that one. And yeah, you guys have a great week. We'll see you later.
See you guys.